Former Speaker of the House Newt Gingrich surging ahead of the 2012 GOP pack. He's opened a 2-point lead over his Republican rivals in the latest Real Clear Politics poll of national average. But don't tell that to the Democratic National Committee. Their latest ad continues to target Mitt Romney, who's in second place.
From the creator of I'm Running for Office for Pete's Sake comes the story of two men trapped in one body, Mitt versus Mitt.
I will preserve and protect a woman's right to choose. The right next step is to see Roe v. Wade overturned.
Two Mitts willing to say anything.
So what's behind that strategy? Here to weigh in this morning is our political panel. Former U.S. Attorney Kendall Coffey. Good morning to you, Mr. Coffey.
Good morning.
Delicious. NFL Hall of Fame quarterback and founder and chairman of One More Customer, Fran Tarkington. It's an honor to have you, sir.
Thank you.
And Daily Caller columnist and Fox News contributor Deneen Borelli. Good morning, Deneen.
Good morning.
Fran Tarkington, let's start with you because the fact that the Republicans are running and Newt is in the front of the pack, and yet the Democrats have focused on Mitt Romney. That's incredible.
That's incredible. But, you know, things change, don't they? You know, sometimes they blitz you, you got to change your play.
Right.
Probably when they did the commercial, you know, Romney was the guy. And now old Newt is
so you
surged.
think it was just in the pipeline and they had to run it?
Yeah, they'll change. They're not that dumb, I don't think.
Well, Kendall, what about the fact that, you know, and we heard this from Mitt Romney yesterday, Newt Gingrich is a lifelong politician, whereas Mr. Romney brings something new to the table versus Barack Obama, and he's a businessman.
I think the voters see them both as politicians, but Democrats clearly see Romney as the greater threat. I mean, the conventional wisdom among Democrats is he might very well beat Obama, so I think they're going to early and often keep trying to take Romney down every time they go. Because with respect to the surge of any particular Republican, the polls have been up and down. And don't forget, 8 years ago, we all knew slam dunk who the Democratic nominee was going to be. It was going to be Howard Dean.
Right.
And he disappeared in a New York minute, and anything can happen with some of these poll numbers.
And speaking of New York minute, 4 years ago, Rudy Giuliani was going to be the nominee until the caucuses and also the primaries, and he flamed out. Deneen, you say that a big part of the attack on Romney and not Newt is the fact that Romney's got a lot of dough.
Well, he's getting a lot of money from Wall Street. He's getting more money than Obama got in 2008 election, which is interesting because, you know, the regulations that are being hit against the bankers on Wall Street, it's costing jobs. But I think the White House is panicking, Obama is panicking, and they're hitting Romney fast and hard now because he has been consistent in the polls.
Well, Fran Tarkington, one of the reasons the White House might be panicking is the fact that they are hemorrhaging the number of independents who are on their side. They had a number that was quite substantial last time, and now they're off by 10 points in the latest Gallup.
Because what they've been doing for the last 3 years is not working. And we voted for a president of the United States of America, and we got a president of the Democratic Party. And so people are taking another look at it, and he's losing favor because we want a leader that will solve problems. And the same problems we had when he came in are still there and worse today. Bad news does not get better with age.
Sure. And Kendall, Fran just made a good point. You know, the President of the United States should be, according to the Republicans, should be leading right now, but he's out running for president instead. We need somebody to lead us out of this economic hole we're in.
Well, he may have concluded he does better on the campaign trail than getting legislation through in the Congress. One of the stats I was struck by that you were talking about earlier is the drop among young people. And why is that? Because young people are the ones that are getting out of college and can't get a job.
Exactly right.
But here's the other thing. Obama's polls have dropped lower than Jimmy Carter's has at this point in the election. So that's very telling. And why is that? Because unemployment is high nationwide, especially in the black community. It's over 16%, over 40% among black teens. And, you know, the stimulus didn't work. So his poll numbers are dropping, and they're panicking big time.
The White House says the stimulus did work, so they would beg to differ with you. Thanks, Gretch. Tim Tebow and Kurt Warner, both religious athletes and NFL superstars. But now, Kurt Warner, a former Super Bowl champion, is telling Tebow to tone it down. He says, quote, "You can't help but cheer for a guy like that." But I'd tell him, put the boldness in regards to the words and keep living the way you're living. Let your teammates do the talking for you. Let them cheer on your testimony. We continue the conversation. Fran Tarkington, he's saying tone down the religious stuff.
I'm the son of a preacher man. And Kurt Warner is a religious good person. He wore his religion on his sleeve as much as anybody that's ever played, and that's okay with me.
Sure.
Why does he want to go after Tebow?
Why do you think?
I don't have any idea. This guy is such a good person. He doesn't bother anybody. Go after Sue, who's kicking people in the shin. But don't go after Tebow. And everybody, he can't throw, he can't do this. You know what? He's won 5 games for that team. And if they would leave him alone and stop trying to change who he is and change how he throws, I think he might be able to play. And Kurt Warner, about his religion, if God is worried about how Tim Tebow plays or doesn't play,
right,
or whether the Denver Broncos win or doesn't win, I never have understood that. If that's what he's got to worry about, then we're in trouble.
Well, listen, Fran, I'm calling a 15-yard penalty for excessive media reporting on this. As you said, Kurt Warner has done this. Why are they making such a big deal out of this? They didn't make a big deal out of it when Kurt Warner was doing it.
Right.
But I wish there was more morality and faith in individuals, because you know what? We would not have had the nightmare that happened at Penn State. So we need more morality and more faith.
Now, Kendall, you are a double gator, so I would imagine Tim Tebow can do no wrong in your book.
No wrong, although I wish Fran Tarkington would talk to him about improving his passing accuracy. Even Gators can see that. But think about the fact that athletes use famous millions to get millions and millions of dollars
right,
to endorse shoes. Here, this exemplary guy uses a faith, is communicating about his faith, not selling shoes, not selling sportswear, and he gets all the heat. Tells you that things are sometimes upside down.
Indeed, and as an attorney, you would say he certainly is entitled to his opinion.
Of course, and what more important thing to talk about than faith? He doesn't tell anybody else what they have to believe. He expresses his own faith. I think it's great. And we're talking about faith in Tim Tebow, not about Penn State and some other things
And
right
Fran,
now.
when you were leading the Minnesota Vikings, would you ever go out on the field and would you pray?
Before the game, the coach would always ask the most religious guy to say the prayer. And he'd say the prayer, and when the prayer was over, everybody yelled, "Let's go ahead and kill those SOBs!"
It's funny but true.
It's true.
All right. Great discussion today. I'd like to thank the panel, Kendall Coffey, Fran Tarkington, and Deneen Borelli.
Thank you.
Great conversation.
Thank you, Steve.